Hello everyone, my name is Carole. Welcome to my sewing room. I have some pyjamas to show you this week. I want to tell you all about the sewing social I went to and some little things I made there. And I have this, which I've made for my holiday. So this is hashtag Friday Sews, and of course an enormous shout out to the wonderful Jen from the channel Today in Jen's Sewing Room, who started this hashtag so we could all take the opportunity on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday to just report back to you to everything that we've been making and sewing and buying, and then a tiny bit about life. So don't forget to check out all the other hashtag Friday Sews vloggers. I'm wearing a jumper today because I've been outside all day today. It is Halloween, it's the 31st of October as I'm filming this, and I will come back to Halloween and put some photos at the end. I've had a scary experience today, which is apt because of course it is Halloween, and I'll talk about that later. Meanwhile, as I said, I've been out all day, so I wanted something cozy on. So I dug out this pattern here, Simplicity 8988. I made this last year in this beautifully soft knit fabric. I put off making this pattern for so long because I didn't like that sort of exposed seam down the middle where, if you can see it, you sort of the raw edges. It's almost like wearing inside out. And I know if I wore something like that with my husband, he would indeed accuse me of wearing something inside out. But I didn't. I made it just the normal boring way. I didn't even put a seam down the front. I just cut the two pieces on the fold. But what I did like was the side tie. So if I stand up and show you this side tie here, I love that detail. I need to make another one of those. I think I should start a file of things that I want to make another of, rather than just put it back in the folder. I need a separate folder. Do you do that? Do you pin your stuff up or put it somewhere so you don't forget what you intend to make? So, should we start with the pyjamas? Now, I make a lot of pyjamas, I know that, but I haven't actually made some for quite a while for me. I was originally going to go with this pair that I make all the time, 9337, but I didn't. I changed. And I used this pattern, which is quite new to me, 9020. Very similar trousers, but they looked slightly baggier. So let's compare the two. This one, I do love these deep pockets, but they are quite slim on the calves, whereas this one looked a bit more roomier. So I thought, go on, give them a go. I didn't make the top. I used McCalls, whatever that is, 7515. I used that just t-shirt top there because this one here, this hasn't got sleeves, it's just all one bit, and this picture kind of put me off a little bit about how drapey it was going to be. A lot of fabric, so I decided to use that. But I actually really like these trousers. I think the shorts would be cute in summer as well. So this is the top. Now you know me, I try to sort of do a bit of colour blocking. I had some yellow jerseys, so I put the yellow cuffs on here, and then I put the yellow trim on the sleeve. I'll pick it up in a minute. But this had a patch pocket, and I thought, oh no, I'll be all clever and I'll do a contrasting patch pocket. Hang on a minute. It was so awful. So here we go. Here we go, the trousers, and the patch pocket was going to be there. Didn't that look awful? It was just dreadful, wasn't it? It's just like a complete afterthought. It didn't work at all. So that came off. So they don't have a patch pocket on them. I could have cut this in the same fabric, but I decided once they were all sewn up, it was easier to take that off rather than sew another patch pocket on. As you see, I normally put a button in the front so I know front and back, because I don't like a label in my pyjamas. I don't know about you. But anyway, I am really pleased. So got the contrasting bit on the bottom. As I said, I did it a bit on the hem there. I'm not going to model them for you. Well, I may do. I may put a picture in, but just normal pyjamas. But yeah, this definitely has possibilities, this pattern here, because it wasn't so tight on my calves as the other Simplicity pattern. Now, I think we have to talk about this. So I had an idea for something. I was eating breakfast, I think I said last week on Friday So's, and I was thinking about my holiday next week because we're going away. It is hopefully going to be very much a relax, sun lounger, read book holiday. Probably do some walking. We normally end up walking. But I don't know, I suddenly had the idea of doing something like having a cover with some pockets in either side on the sunbed. So my problem is normally I tuck my phone under my towel and then I can't find it, or I might use my book, be reading my book and go off for a swim and put it down on the wet towel. And we all know what paperbacks do when they get wet. They go curvy, don't they? And I hate that. So I had this idea. I think I will put some footage in now of the actual product. Now I love sewing garments, I love getting patterns, sewing garments, I like making things, but most of all I like having an idea and trying to work out how on earth I can make it happen in reality. And I have to say I'm quite pleased with these, but it has to be road tested on my holiday to give you a complete feedback of whether it's perfect or not. So how did I get to these pockets, and why are they in 2 bits? And why they're waterproof. So, like most things that I think about and invent, I normally go online and find they've already been invented. I did find this as kind of sunbed pockets, but they were in toweling. Now, I can't think of anything worse than having, you know, if you come out the pool and you sat on your towel, how wet the towel gets. So that bit that you're sitting on will be really wet. So at the end of the day, you've not only got a wet towel, you've also got this thing with the pockets that's going to be damp as well, and you'd have to dry it off. So I thought in my head straight away that the bit that you're sat on has to be waterproof. And you know I love using ripstop fabric, so that's what I did. So I've done one book size pocket one side, and the other I have done 2 pockets, sunglasses and phone. That's primarily. Now this you could have multitude of things. You could have zip pockets, you can have anything, but this is what I decided to do to start with. So in my head I worked out that I was going to have to get a piece of ripstop, attach it to the fabric, then obviously sew it together and flip the pocket up and then top stitch it. That's okay, but then I thought, what if it's a directional print? So my brain then worked out that one of the pieces would be with direction that way and the other piece would be direction the other way. So that way, particularly with these lighthouses, when I flipped it back up, it was all going the same way. See, I love these little challenges. How do I get past that? Reason why it's in 2-piece is because no matter how much research I did, I couldn't work out the average size of a sun lounger because they're all different. It depends how deep they are, how wide. The ones we've got out in our garden are really narrow, so probably the narrowest in dimension that I came across. So I thought it's got to be adjustable. So how could it be adjustable? I've got these strips of Velcro. So I made sure that the Velcro loops would be the one that sat on top. So otherwise, because we know what's going to happen, that's just going to stick to the towel. So this is going to be, excuse me while I de-Velcro, this is going to be fully adjustable for however wide the sun lounger is. Okay, so I'm really pleased. I hope it's going to work. I can see a couple of pitfalls, only that you'll notice in the video that I put it down first and then put the towel, then set on it and then put the book, because I think if you put the book one side it could potentially slip down before you put your phone in. So it's got to be kind of equally balanced. Now you could probably get around that by putting sort of that lead weight kind of in the bottom maybe. It's got potential, hasn't it? It's got potential and I'm quite excited to use it. My husband then said, so at the end of the day, how do we store it? So what I decided to do was obviously put a little bit of elastic at the top. So the idea is at the end of the day, as I showed you, you can roll it up and then use the elastic to secure it, and it's all like that. So I've made two. I will admit that the second one, that's mine. The first one was slightly smaller because although I did the dimensions of the book, I forgot that books vary in thickness. So this is my husband's and this will be for his Kindle, obviously because the Kindle is slim. So think of me next week road testing these out. I'm really excited to, I love doing things like this. So I'll report back to you after my holiday and tell you if they were successful or not. Last Sunday I went to the sewing social that was being held near me, just down the road, 5 miles away. I was so glad that I found it. So it was run by a company, well, a lady whose fabric company is called Rooted. So not only did I discover that she has the most amazing fabrics and then she designs them herself, that she actually lives in the same town as myself. Also there were 2 other fabric companies that I didn't know about that are local. So one of the Lovely Jubbly Fabrics, who are also just down the road from me, although they work out of a warehouse, they do open to the public every now and again. So I'm excited for that because I think that's going to be November. But well, this is very dangerous. But going, and there was another company as well called Sew Eco Fabrics that were based a bit further away. But and I met some wonderful people. One lady who I hadn't seen in years actually lives in the same village. She moved away, but we always used to talk about sewing together. So I met her again and some lovely people. It was fantastic. And I did manage to get some sewing done. So what did I make? Got my holiday coming up, haven't I? So I made a new hat for my holiday. Now, I know I say this, gosh, I say this every time, don't I? But me and hats don't really go. But you need to wear one if you want to read, don't you? So I made one of these bucket hats. It's the Elbe Textiles Sorrento hat. This time I made it plain on the outside, but we got a good bit of flowers going on the inside. So I made that. I finished off one of my beach things that I've just showed you, my sunbed things. And I made another of Adam's pouches. I made the large size one because I want to use it as a makeup bag. And I have this beautiful purple fat quarter. I think this is Disney, but I came in a Disney fat quarter bundle, but I can't remember. But anyway, it's pretty and it's purple, so I'm going to be using that. So that was the pouch patterns, the trio of pouches, that's right. I'll put the link down below anyway, but if you ever want to make just a lovely quick simple pouch, it's a perfect pattern. So I did get some sewing done. I've also done a couple more gifts since I've been back. A couple of some glasses holder. Now the lovely Zelda from Zelda Sews had made some of these. It was a pattern that I think Mimi G had this pattern. But I decided that's fine, I'll kind of draw something out and hopefully it'll work. And it did. So it's very simple. I've got the curved frontage, it's got some batting in and top stitch around the side. So that was great fun to do. The only thing I would say is, in my mind, they need to be slightly slimmer to be tighter, because for reading glasses, etc., it's just a bit floppy. Sunglasses would be fine, but I need to make them just a tiny bit slimmer. So had fun working those out. Didn't use a pattern. I will say I'm a bit naughty. I show you things and very often I've kind of worked it out myself, particularly referring to my jewellery pouches. This is kind of a pattern on I'm trying to perfect myself. How did I come about it? A dinner plate and a side plate, basically, making 2 circles. I made this one. I haven't finished it because I still haven't got the right ribbon. This is some really cheap ribbon that just frays. So this isn't finished. I need to go and do a great big ribbon shop, I think. But I just love the colours on this. And look inside. Just, we got 6 pouches there. So I promise in November, when I've perfected it, I will put out a video on how to do this. There probably already exists some videos, but I know a couple of people asked me last time. I keep forgetting to show you this, so I'm going to show you this now. I have a lot of seam rippers, and we all know that they go blunt after a while. So I did a bit of research on how to sharpen them. I've tried to sharpen them before with a nail file and things like that. But online, they said use a bead reamer. Now, if you're a jewellery maker, you probably come across these and have these anyway. But they are long files, obviously to make, if you're doing jewellery, to make the hole bigger. But they are meant to be good for sharpening seam rippers. Now, I have had a go, but I think it's going to be a technique that I would have to master. So they're saying, if you see this, it's sort of got like glass paper, it's like a nail file. And the idea is, I might get a smaller one actually, because there's 2 in this pack and this is a slightly smaller one. The idea is you keep it on the same angle as the blade, going one way, and see that sound actually makes me go really cold, so I hate doing it, but that's the idea, to sharpen it. Now I did do a few and I think it has made a difference. So you can hear it's doing something, but obviously you've got to keep it in one direction and keep the angle the same angle as the blade. But it definitely sharpened up a couple, so I'm going to continue to have a go with this. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever sharpened any of these and how you've got on, or if you've used these. Okay, we need to talk about round towels, don't we? When I held mine up last week and showed you what I'd done, I had no idea that they were obviously mainly a European thing. I thought I had seen them on my travels to the US, and I've had so many comments saying, what are they? What do you use them for? Now, in my mind, they're fantastic. So I will just show you. This was the one I made last week, and I've put the embroidery on, and yep, you guessed it, it's going to be for my daughter. Luckily, that was one of the designs that was on my machine. Why do I use them? So I hand them in the kitchen, and the idea is you're not constantly drying your hands on the same bit of towel. You know, so if you've got a flat towel, you know, a hand towel over a rail, everybody just uses that patch in the middle, don't they? I always go underneath and use that patch, but the idea is this: when you're grabbing it, you're very often drying your hands on a different bit of the towel. So they are really clever. I will admit, all the ones that I have bought, I bought in France and Spain, so I'm thinking that it is a kind of a European thing. But they are fantastic, and if you didn't catch my video last week, what I've been doing is some old towels, basically cutting 2 circles, 25-inch these were, binding all the way round, and then putting a hoop in the middle, and then you can either embroider something, or you can put in a applique or a sticky applique, or just something on there, or nothing at all. I made another one, and this is a pink one, most probably for myself. And the embroidery design I did with these beautiful flowers there, I'm so pleased with how that one came out. Isn't that pretty? So I think I'll probably take this down to the caravan, or maybe give it to my mum. But I'm very happy with that. So that is what the round towels are for. The idea is you hang them in the kitchen or the bathroom, on the bathroom door, and you're always drying your hands on a different bit of the towel. Genius. I've got a bit of a dukey sewing machine story to tell you, a bit of a whinge. So my needle threader had died for a long time. They're so easy to break, aren't they? It's the one with the lever where it pushes through something. Well, that had got bent, as they do. And I kept thinking, oh gosh, that means I've got to take it to the menders and it's going to be a long drag and it's a long drive. And then I just happened to see by pure chance that they're literally a case of pulling one off and popping another one on. And they cost £10. So I ordered one and I looked at some YouTube videos how to do this. And it was a simple case of, with my Dukey, I think it's the same for my Genome as well. Of literally you pull it off and then you pop the new one on. I did that and I was so happy I had mended my own machine. The next day the thread cutter died, and now it's been doing this for a while, but it died and the bobbin underneath keeps just chewing up and flicking up, and so I thought I'd mended my machine and saved me the journey up to get it mended, but I hadn't the next day, honestly. So we took it up at the weekend to the menders, but unfortunately they need to keep it for a couple of weeks because they're so busy. So this was the day before the sewing social, and I had to leave my machine there. Luckily, my brother embroidery machine came to the rescue, because that little thing, I know I complain about it having just a 4x4 hoop, but it is a really good sewing machine as well. So that came to the rescue and that came with me. But what I didn't have was a carry bag for it. And look at the one I managed to pick up. Perfect for me. Daisies! I saw this in the shop and I said, please tell me that will fit my Dukey and the Genome. And they said, yes, it will. So that's what I had. So yeah, I've got a Genome down in our holiday home with a sewing bag, but I didn't have anything up here. So just had to buy that. Early Christmas present. So good old brother machine is working really well for me, but the annoying thing is, because I've been doing embroidery and sewing, it's like changing all over all the feet, and oh, never mind, I won't whinge to you about it. But yeah, if you have a Dukey or a Genome, and just check if your needle threader has gone, if it's not just a simple case of popping a new one on, that would have saved me quite a bit of money. I think that's all the sewing news. Oh, this week I put out my video was the second of my I Can Sew That, and that is when I made a V-neck t-shirt, which sounds really easy, but it meant I had to combine two patterns, and it worked a treat. And it was just this great V-neck t-shirt, and I did put a little bit of a yoga logo on the bottom. So that was good. And next week I'm going to be away, so I won't be doing a Friday sews. I will have a video coming out midweek, and it's a bit different, so I know it won't appeal to everyone, but I'm talking about my brother machine and in particular the Brother Art Spira app that you have on your phone that works in conjunction with your machine. I just want to talk about my successes with it and what I've found. It is not a promotional video, it's just telling you about the app, and when I started I wish I'd known more about it. Now I know a little bit more about it, and it's just me with my opinion. So that will come out next week. So as I said right at the beginning, it is Halloween as I film this. It is getting dark, it is getting spooky. I've got lots of pictures, and they're very different for you this week. Last weekend we had the fireworks because it's bonfire night, Guy Fawkes night next Tuesday, but we'll be away. But the local fireworks were last Saturday, and my husband and daughter played on the stage there. They played with their band. On the Sunday we went to the local park where they'd brought in a company to put all these spooky lights and things like that and lit up the forest, and that was cool, so I'll put a couple of those photos in. Then I've done some good walks. I think I came across a set of mushrooms that I'd never taken a picture of before, so I got to pop those in as well. And today because it's been half term in the UK, I've been out with the grandsons a couple of times. We went to the theme park on Tuesday, but today we went to just a local park. We took a picnic, we sat outside, and the visitor centre there had some special guests from a natural history museum nearby, and they bought some snakes and some spiders and cockroaches, and so we managed to get in and have a look. And the time we went in, there was nobody else in there. And there was a man with an enormous snake, and to be honest, I was so freaked out I wasn't even listening to what he was telling me. Before I knew it, he stuck this snake around my neck. Now they know, they say you should do something every day that scares you. That was mine for today, and I'm still trying to recover from the fact I had this snake around my neck, and then he just walked off and left me with it. And it was just here. So I have to put the photo in of that. The boys held the snake as well. They loved it. They thought Nanny having a snake around her neck was just hilarious. I then had a big bearded dragon. He was really spiky actually, but quite cute. And he was sort of here, and I was kind of chatting to him and the grandsons also. And then it's just one of those completely out of the blue things. If I'd thought about it too much and planned it, I would never have had that snake anywhere near me. But sometimes you just got to go with it, and I had to be brave. Look at brave Nanny. It was funny. So yeah, that you can tell in the picture that I'm not entirely comfortable. Oh, what a laugh. So that's Halloween for you. Nice scary spiders and snakes. So as I said, I won't be here next week with #Friday Sews. I haven't got anything to show you anyway because I'm not sewing anything. I'm trying to tidy up the room before I go away. Hopefully I will be back with something the following week and some news. I just want to say a massive thank you, and I should have put this at the beginning of the video, but a massive thank you to all my new subscribers. Now, I wanted to tip over the 6,000 mark last week, and I did in style. So thank you so much. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you've joined the Carole #Friday Sews crew. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And of course, all those people that have been with me from the beginning. Honestly, there's so many of you that chat to me every single week. It's phenomenal. Thank you very much. Have an amazing weekend and week ahead. Sorry I'll miss you next week. And happy sewing.